Okay. Good morning, everyone. Carolyn, okay, yeah, you're back. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining this session today. Welcome to Newbie Education Virtual Fair. This event is for our boarding schools, and we hope that you'll be able to learn so many things from Brookhouse College this morning. So we start the event with Brookhouse College in UK. Caroline is here
Hello.
representing the school. So we'll start the event with presentation from her, and then we'll encourage students and parents to ask their questions. Please use the chat box. We appreciate you use the chat box. You can send your questions there. And after the general questions and answer, if you have personal questions for Caroline, she'll be available to answer. So let's welcome Caroline Blackshaw as she makes her presentation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Christiana, and thank you so much for the newbie team. I've got to say that we at Brookhouse College in the UK have been working with newbie and their fantastic team for many years, and they are very much like family to us. But that means they know us very well and they understand us. I am very enthusiastic about Brookhouse, and I can't possibly tell you enough about it in such a short time. So I want to give you a little bit of a taster this morning, a little bit of insight. I've tried to make the presentation different because I know you're going to have a lot of schools talking to you, and I wanted ours to be a little bit different. And if you are interested in knowing more, I invite you to contact Newbie or contact myself, and we'll have a joint Zoom that will be particularly focused with you and your family and your questions. Okay. So without further ado, I shall share my screen with you and talk to you a little bit more about Brookhouse College. Okay, excuse a moment. Oh, sorry, it's just gone back a moment. Let me just get it to the right point. I'm so sorry. My colleague there, Christiana, will be testing me to the fact that we've just tested this, and we had it perfect, didn't we, Christiana? And then
we did.
And I go and mess it up on the live show. Oh, sorry about that. Okay, so we should be okay now. Jeffrey needs to be admitted. Just admitting a few people. So share the screen again.
About the admission, I'm the one admitting the students, so it's fine.
Oh, I just didn't know when I was host whether I had to do it for you. So thank you.
No, you don't have to. Yeah.
That saved me a job. Thank you, Christiana. So this is Brookhouse College and where it began. The building is hundreds of years old, but Brookhouse College is 54 years old. Okay, and this is the main hub, but we aren't based in one building anymore. So this is where you would probably arrive, and it's administration. And then it's the beautiful town of Market Harborough, which is very typically British town. And if you've not visited the UK before, these are very typical looking buildings, but the older buildings in the town before it's been modernised. Okay, so this is the old grammar school and the church in the centre. So some of you may be thinking, boarding school, what's it like? What's it going to be? So if this isn't Brookhouse, but where is it? Anybody want to shout out where they think it is? You'll have to unmute yourselves. No, everybody's shy this morning. So it's Hogwarts, okay? So the film came out a few years ago and everybody thought boarding accommodation was going to look a bit like Hogwarts, but actually we're a bit more like that, okay? We've modelled our accommodation on what you would have at university. So not like Hogwarts at all, okay? It's more crisp, clean, plain furniture, the sorts of furnitures that universities are buying for their halls of residence and apartments. And if you wanted to see more of that, there's a link there for our 360-degree tour. So, accommodation examples, again, you would have the opportunity to have a common room in your residence. So what's it going to look like? Is it going to look like that? I don't know why it keeps jumping to there. Is it going to look like this, or is it going to look like this? Okay, so the thing is that our accommodation is gender specific. So if you're in girls' accommodation, you're in girls' accommodation. If you're in boys' accommodation, it's boys' accommodation. There's no real mixing, and certainly you're not in historical ancient castle type accommodation there. For those of you who, and I may need to stop sharing and just share the video, so just hold on a moment. Can you see the video?
Yes.
Brilliant. So this was a football focused video really that was produced by Zico, who's an ex-Thai professional player. He was an ambassador for Leicester City as well in Thailand. And he brought a large group of Thai students. While they were with us, they undertook a documentary, and this is some of the clips out of the documentary. I love that one of the Buka drawing, and I think it gives you a bit of an idea. We've got new laboratories now, so this is our old laboratories, but I think you can see the 60 different nationalities that we've got at the school. I'm going to move it on just a little bit so that you're seeing various parts. This is the girls' accommodation. And we've got a Thai, a Vietnamese and an Angolan girl there in that group. The girls' accommodation is always very neat. Very styled, you'll see with the cushions and things. The boys tend to be less fussy and they're more interested in this. This is Market Harbour football ground. You can see our facilities if you wanted to be a part of the football academy. Move it on a little bit. Coaches. He's an ex-Leicester City player. I'm just moving on a little bit faster because if you're not into football, you perhaps won't want to see that much football, but I'm moving it on to trips and things now. And here you see some of the Thai group that I talked about. And here's the ex-Thai player. London. Harrods, always very popular. And back to school, okay. I just need to share again to go back to the presentation. Oh. Excuse me. That's typical of YouTube. If you're not careful, it goes on to the next video. Okay. Okay, I'm going to show you that at the end. So even on Saturday, we had International Boarding Day. We're largely boarding at Brooke House. So I think last year we were 97% boarding. We do have day students as well. And I think because we are boarding, it's important to understand what you're going to get as an additional support. So if you are with us as a day student, you can still get involved with a lot of things that are happening at the weekends and see your friends. But if you were boarding 7 days a week, you're going to have that development around the clock. So we're working towards this educational excellence, towards your maturity, organisation skills, self-reliant. And you don't need me to list everything here. Just have a quick look yourselves and see about all those extra things that you already have at your current school, but you will have more because it's development around the clock. Okay, so you're there boarding and you're with us all the time. You will have lots of support. So we have residential tutors, academic tutors, and we have people looking after your welfare and pastoral needs. And if you're in the football academy, you will have an allocated coach. For all these areas, residential and academic and your coach and football, you will have personal objectives that you're measured against and you're working to achieve. Now, for those of you who are interested in the Football Academy, it is about another conversation with us, another Zoom with the coaches and really talking about the football and how we go about that in more detail rather than this general presentation. In September, we welcomed a new principal. His name is Ian Smith. He's worked for GEMS International. He's worked in Switzerland. And he's now joined us as our new principal. And he has introduced the high performance learning model. And we are a high performance school. We're having guidance on how we should improve things and move things forward. And this is similar to a gifted and talented program where we're looking at everybody, you know, the gifted and talented, but also everyone within the school is tasked with improving and achieving things that, you know, it's like recognizing that everybody's awesome. Everyone's got a different skill, a different talent, and it's how we can work with them to really improve that and really bring it forward. So that's an exciting new project. With our academic achievements and destinations, we are working towards preparing students very, very well for university. Okay, they're also getting progression through to football clubs quite regularly. Our students who leave to go to UK universities, it's a high number of Russell Group universities. And for those of you who don't know the system very well in the UK, the Russell Group list is similar to the Ivy League list in the US. Excellent results with increased added value for 3 years. We have very small classes. So I know that that's quite unique for Brooke House, having 8 to 12 in a class. And that means you're getting quite a lot of individual attention during your study time. And the personal objectives that I talked about within a tutoring system, if it's footballing, it's one system. If on your learning and your study, it's another system. But they are systems that your parents can log into from overseas, which is only fair if they're paying your fees. We're going to provide this supportive environment, whether you're really one of our younger ones at the age of 11 through to 19. Is a different type of support, and we're going to ensure that we add value. So we've got evidence that we are adding value to each and every student that comes to us. We're going to give you careers guidance and progression guidance. And we're actually changing the title of our university fair to a futures fair. So we're going to include a lot more within that. Than just university progression. So the aim of the college is to work with people who are 11 to 19 years old. We're starting with the 11-year-olds with the Key Stage 3 system. Between 14 and 16, these are approximate years, okay? It's GCSEs. A-levels are aimed at 16 plus and foundation at 17 plus. So foundation links in very nicely with your WIEC system if you're around about 17 and you've completed your WIEC. Some of the university destinations for last year, including the overseas ones. Some of them over the last 3 years. This was a particular slide that we produced for somebody who wanted to see which of the traditional universities we'd sent people to. And some examples, okay, of where people have gone and how they got there. So we've got a young man who's Chinese, who's in the football academy. He's gone to study BA honours in business management at York. And he was studying within our University Foundation programme. This young lady, a Ugandan, she's gone off to study medicine at St. George's in the Caribbean, and she's received a scholarship for that. So we're very proud and very pleased for her. And she has she studied medicine on the Medicine Foundation programme. Leicester, we've got a Nigerian boy here, gone off to do BSc Economics from an A-level programme. Reading, BSc in Finance, University Foundation programme. I think there are a few more further down, but I'll show you those in a few minutes. Okay, so you need to ask yourself, are you university ready if you're older? Will you thrive or will you survive? And can you visualize success? Okay, so those questions are really at those people who are thinking, can I get directly to a university with my grades, or should I do a foundation program? And those decisions need to be really discussed with newbie, with your parents, with ourselves. If you can afford to have a university foundation program that prepares you really well for university, that is a very good thing to do, because it means that you will thrive when you get there. You're not on a back foot. You're equivalent to everybody else who's joining at in that first year at the uni in the undergraduate program. So our focus on the foundation programme is to really prepare students academically with their subject theory, the subject knowledge, the study skills. Language skills isn't an issue for Nigeria, but as we're an international school, we often have language development to do. And if a university requires an IELTS, then we're going to be able to give you that as well. So that's your proof of being able to speak English as your first language and move into higher education. So just what is we've got Rosa's iPhone waiting to be admitted. I'm just letting Christiana know. Yeah.
Yeah. I have. Okay.
That's fine. So this University Foundation programme is your bridge from secondary education through to higher education. And we'll have lots of flexibility at Brooke House, which allows us to get the best fit for you. We have had our University Foundation programme accepted at over 125 leading British universities, and increasingly many are going overseas, and it's been recognised overseas. So that's an encouraging sign. We divide our programme into different pathways. So here you'll see a pathway that we're calling STEM, which is your science, engineering, sports pathway. And we have a range of subject choices. Okay, you are guided to choose 3 or 4 subject areas that fit with the undergraduate programme that you're wanting to go to. This isn't exhaustive, okay? It is an example of students that have gone off to universities to study this programme. The only one that isn't live example is Brunel, because they've deferred their starting of their international medicine programme. So that isn't a real case. So these are a list of real cases. Okay, so if you're looking at thinking, how could I get to Swansea, or how could I get to Loughborough or King's College London, you know that Brooke House has assisted students to get there previously. Again, we have a pathway in finance. So accounting, business, maths, business studies, government, politics, law, and there are some examples of the types of courses that students have gone to. And I know the University of Essex is very, very popular with students from Nigeria also. Nottingham Trent mentioned there, another popular, Nottingham University, all popular universities that I know that Newby work with. And these students have gone off to study law. I'll give you an example. A few years ago, one of your attorney generals of Nigeria sent both his children to Brooke House via Newby Education, and they're off now studying law at university. Media and communications. I know for Nigeria, you've got your own Silicon Valley, and this media communications, the IT side is all becoming a very popular pathway for students of Nigeria to study. And we know that computer science on the technical side, on the STEM side, but also in terms of that mass media communication is becoming quite important as well. And it's becoming certainly a job area that's developing very, very quickly in Nigeria, in Lagos. So things like that, we can shape you ready for your programs and your modes of study. Whether it's on the creative side, okay, fashion, architecture, or the flexi pathway, we still, and I know you will, and there will be people within the schools who think, I do not know what I want to study next. Why do people keep asking me what I want to do as a job? Now, we understand that there's always going to be the odd people who are thinking, I change my mind every week, or I'm only saying something because somebody expects me to say that I'm interested in studying something. We would like to invite those people to have a more in-depth careers guidance conversation with us. And we can then design a flexible pathway, what we call a pick and mix. So we're going to choose your strengths and design a program around you, okay? Within that, we're going to ensure that you don't dilute your skills so much that no university would let you apply for any of their programs, but that you've got flexibility that you can apply to various programs. Okay. So again, we've got a Turkish example here of a student going off, and it's a Turkish female. She studied on the University Foundation program. She did law and business studies and psychology mix, and she's gone off to Leicester University. Leeds for computer science, again a University Foundation program. And this is a lovely one because this student came to us with English as a second language, and I think she was with us around about 3 years. A star in biology, A maths, A physics, and has gone off to study civil engineering at Bath. An A-level programme example, City University London, good A-level results again. Another girl from Thailand who was with us first of all to improve her English. Again, ABC, and was accepted to the University of Surrey to study business management. Brighton Pharmacy, A-star, A-level programme, University of Brighton. I wanted to show you a range of different nationalities because we're a very international school. So it was to show you that our international students who join our systems that our British kids have been through for years and years and well, you know, find it easy and know what's expected of them, that we can integrate international students at any age very quickly and still achieve well with us. Now, as I said, 60 different nationalities, many of them are British. We're a non-selective international boarding school. We have English support if required, flexible entry and study. So we're very flexible at the moment because of the pandemic. We've had to be with borders closing and opening. Our main intakes are September, but I have a January intake. So you're not too late to apply for a January intake if you think that's going to be the best route for you. Co-curricular and extracurricular. Well, that's all those things that you do at school or through school that are your social bits. And I will show you a little video about that in a moment, okay? We're going to look after you in terms of your welfare and pastoral support. So you're going to be leaving your families behind. So you do need a bit of looking after. So whether that's hands-on, because it's very practical, or invisible in the background that you can call upon if you need it, it's there, okay? We've been watching out very much for people's mental health and well-being throughout the pandemic, whether you're a student or a staff. It's taken its toll on people, and we've put the systems in place to support. We had to be very proactive during the pandemic, and it was because of our strengths in welfare and support that I think that shone through. The food is great. We even have jollof rice. I'm not saying that it's as good as you get in Nigeria. The chef gives it a good try under the guidance of our Nigerian students. And we have catering for that's, you know, good enough for the elite football academy. So, you know, and feedback goes back to Lee, the chef, quite often in terms of what they want shaping, what they like, what they'd like more of, what they'd like less of, and new things. So he's very open to having discussions. The boarding is 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and you have a permanent resident tutor who looks after you, unless you're 18 plus, and then it's contact numbers 24 hours in a close proximity to look after you. You don't have somebody actually sharing the house with you. So as I said, especially last year, 98% of our students and population were boarding last year. We have access to the healthcare through the NHS, the National Health Service, and Brooke House itself has its own medical centre. It has a nurse, a physio, and actually a sports psychologist as well on the team. These are some photographs from Christmas. Through the pandemic, we kept students with us if they wanted to and couldn't get home. Over half terms, they can stay anyway in a normal year, no extra cost. But during Christmas, Easter and the summer, we made provisions. So we had the Christmas house party, which was 2 weeks long in the Christmas holidays, which was like our summer camp, but we made it a winter flavour. And this was the girls' accommodation having a little bit of a Christmas party, making Christmas decorations in readiness for Christmas Day. And this was the celebration feast. And it's a bit like the Thanksgiving feast, really, that we have. Where we recruit from, okay, where our 60 different nationalities are from, give you an idea. Quite a few from Africa, okay, West Africa, East Africa and South Africa, but also worldwide, including, you know, the Caribbean, Europe, Australia, Canada, US. Okay. Brooke House main campus. And I'm just going to show you that little video at the moment. So I'm going to stop sharing and show you. Just bear with me while I get that going. Okay. So. Okay, can you see?
Yes, yes.
Can you hear?
I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you.
So this was last year during the pandemic. We were wondering whether students had had a nice time staying with us all, and we did a compilation of the photographs. We realised that they'd had a pretty good time. So if you imagine that there's a lot, of time around studies in football. There was times when they were in lockdown, when they could only be within their bubbles, the people they lived with. We seem to do a lot of eating and a lot of celebrating birthdays. The new laboratories. Girls' accommodation. I told you about the eating. Never a birthday goes by without a celebration at Brooke House. International Women's Day, another birthday. Just playing games in the accommodation, Christmas house party, the carol service. The carol service had to be streamed across the world, so music club. It's snow, you don't get much of that in Nigeria. Chinese New Year, another birthday, excursions. We bought a lot of equipment in to have fun in our own surroundings when we weren't allowed to go far. Barbecues, trips on the canal. This is the Duke of Edinburgh Award. If any of you want to begin expeditions and learning how to map read. Some of our football achievements, success, place for Nigeria. Some of our winning boys at the academy, Malaysian, Bulgarian boy, one of our Thai boys. Okay, so I'll go back to the presentation. So all this takes place around the map of Market Harborough, and we are based in the town. We have several buildings, some of which you wouldn't go to, so you wouldn't have to walk from one end of the town to the other. So for instance, if you're in the football academy and a boy, you won't be going to this house here because that is a girls' accommodation house. And we need to have accommodation that's really spread around the town, okay? So you will see that, yeah, we're spread here. We've got some accommodation, we've got some teaching accommodation. This is the new STEM centre here. So you've got plenty of choice and everything is within walking distance, okay? House Main High Street. The canals at the back of the girls' accommodation and the general grammar school, the old-fashioned building. It's not used as a school anymore, but it's an iconic building within Market Harborough. Availability of trips around the area. Okay, if anybody wants to go on any day trips that we offer, there are available within the extra and co-curricular. And there are some more trips that people could do, that students could do and participate with us. If you wanted to know more information, you can go contact me at Brooke House or contact my colleagues at Newby. We work very much hand in hand. Do mention where you've listened to me chat and that we've met today on the 16th of October would be very useful because I'm doing these presentations all the time, and we can involve Newby or speak directly to you and your family. It's entirely up to you. Okay, follow us on social media, like and share, have a look to see what we're doing on a daily basis, and thank you for listening.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Caroline, for that. Okay, so we have some questions already, but before that, please feel free to drop your questions in the chat box. So I'll just go over the questions that we have. So we had someone say that, is there any proposal in aerospace engineering in your course? I believe the person is asking if there is any foundation course or program that leads to aerospace engineering.
So just let me, can you just give me one moment because somebody's knocking at my door. Just hold on a moment, okay, please. I do apologise. Okay. So you were saying aerospace engineering. So you want
yes.
Really, and what is, can I just ask the person, they can put it in as a private message, how old they are. So that needs to be a consideration. Okay. So I am assuming you're at the upper end if you're starting to make decisions. So you're either, you know, 16, 17, that sort of age. I would be recommending that you studied lots of physics and maths. Okay. Because aerospace engineering is about you studying those technical sides, okay? We have examples of students going off to study aerospace engineering. It tends to be, we need to look at your profile and look, but it's a sciences discipline, sciences and maths I would consider. So we can design a foundation program for you around those subjects, or you would study A-levels, I think. I would like to be able to speak to my colleague who is careers trained, just to check what the universities are looking for exactly, but my understanding, and I might refer this as well to Mrs. Onanubi or Teo as well, my understanding is they want to see at least some physics and maths in there.
Okay. So person asked, what are the conditions? Okay, ma, please go on, ma. Sorry, ma.
No, I mean, Caroline is correct. It
Thank
has
you.
to be maths and physics.
Okay, lovely. Thank you. Thank you for that reassurance. So I would suggest to that person, contact Newbie, contact me. We can have a more in-depth conversation. We can look at what you've studied already, look where your strengths are. And, you know, we know the universities which offer that easily, don't we, Mrs. Onanubi? And
yes, of course.
Yeah, and we can plan the pathway with you. All right?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay, so the same person asked, what are the conditions to join the college as an international student? I believe you've mentioned this.
Yeah, okay. So again, I'd like to know really, you know, and you don't have to tell me now, but really at what point you'd want to join. So I'd be looking at age to see whether somebody's going to be joining us for GCSEs, A levels or foundation. If you're older, I need to look, I don't mean older than this, but if you're like sixth form age and you're looking for careers options, we need to be very fixed on what subjects you want to study in order to facilitate where you want to go for university. So it's a more in-depth conversation, okay?
Yeah.
We are non-selective. So we're looking to see where your starting point is and how we can build what you need to achieve to where you need to go. Okay. The term non-selective is an Department of Education term that they have in the UK. It just means that instead of us only accepting the top 10% of intellect, that we will look at everybody on a case-by-case basis, and we will give you the consideration as to whether we can help you. If we can't help you, we will say, but it's more that we're looking at the individual person saying, what do we need to do within your education program to take you where you want to go? All right, rather than saying we only take, you know, the top 10% of intellect and nobody less. All right.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that selective schools are like that, but so we just look at the application and we see. So it's about sending us your information, talking to Newbie. Let's see what we can plan for you.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. So we have another question that says, what subject choices, sporting choices are available? So I believe you've mentioned that as well.
So
but you may just
again,
okay.
So again, I would be saying at what point you'd be joining the school or college. Okay, if you join at 11, you don't have any choices of subjects. You get what's given in the education system for 11 to 14-year-olds, and that covers a range of subjects. As you get to 14, you are then able to choose some of your subjects, and you may choose PE or sport as one of your subjects, exam subjects, okay? And the same at A levels and foundation. But in terms of, I'm talking about academic subjects, how you would sort out your academic profile and your exam subjects. From that, at Brooke House, we are a football academy. So our sport is football. So we have other choices of sports that form part of our PE sessions and our PE lessons, but football we are an academy for. So again, if I was talking to you in more detail, I would sort of say, who are you, what sports are you interested in, and taking it further that way. Thank you for the question.
Thank you, Caroline. So the next question says, what are the COVID-19 protocols put in place?
Okay, so all our staff have been vaccinated, and a lot of our students have been vaccinated now. So that's increased, increased the coverage dramatically. We have had our own isolation and quarantine facilities for students to arrive from red and amber countries. Now, those countries now, the government doesn't have that list. It has, has very, very few people, countries listed on a red list of people needing to quarantine. They're recognising and moving forward that students and anybody travelling, they're a little bit more flexible now about who can come into the country. We have sanitizers everywhere. Everywhere is clean more thoroughly. We're wearing masks. If we stand up, it's wear a mask. We're keeping distance from people still. We used to have a one-way system around the school, but that's no longer required since more and more people are vaccinated. So yeah, and I'm just trying to think what else I can tell you. I feel safe at the school. I think because a lot of people have been vaccinated. Where we have had the odd student who's tested positively, we've actually positive. We have a nurse, we have our medical centre, we have isolation accommodation where we'll look after them. And we haven't had anyone really ill. And I think that says something about the virus, really. It's not, it seems to hit the older people more than the children. So we've had students who've had a bit of a headache and a bit of a temperature and been looked after by the nurse. No one has really had to have any external health care.
Thank you. So I have a private message here that says the students need to come home during, the students need to come home during breaks. What if I want my child to be in the school at that point?
Yeah, so during half term, which we recognise is only a week, so I think our half terms and terms mirror what you have in Nigeria, I'm not sure, but we have 3 terms in a year. And each term has a mid-term break, which is usually a week. Not too bad for Nigeria because you're the same time zone, people just have to have the journey. But if you live in Australia or Hong Kong, you don't want to go back for a week and get out of the time zone and come back again. So we offer students the ability to stay if they wish at no extra charge. So that's at three midterm breaks throughout the year. They'll have brunch instead of breakfast and lunch. There are trips. If you're in the football academy, there's a lot more to do with football. There may be some excursions, some more matches, more training. But yeah, the facilities are all there and a lot of students do opt to stay, I have to say. But we don't put them in lessons, so they can have freedom from learning in that formal stage. Any other questions?
Yeah. What support do you give to students who want to study medicine? How do you support them?
Okay, so we'll give them training for the BMAT, their interviews at universities, where we've got links with several universities that favour international students over and above any local students. And it's really, in terms of the study, it is chemistry, biology and maths. That is what the universities want to see in the med schools. So they want you to have a full tank of that knowledge. So that means A stars, really. A stars or a top up with a university foundation so that you really are up to date with that knowledge. Guidance in terms of helping you provide your portfolio of evidence for your work experience, although some universities are telling me they're not as strict on work experience at the moment because of the pandemic. And it's giving you all that guidance really of where it's available, both in the UK and internationally. And we'll give you your subject, we'll feed you with all that subject and your A levels or your foundation, but it's all that around it. So understanding what sort of questions, how you can tackle the questions that come up for you at interview, how you can evidence and prove any work experience, how you might be creative about that in a pandemic where it hasn't been as offered to you as readily as it may be in other years. And it's a lot of one-to-one counselling really, and specific strategies for you.
Yeah, thank you. So please, if you have more questions, I don't have any question again at the moment. So if you have more questions, please feel free to drop them in the chat box, or you can send a private message. Thank you, Caroline.
Okay, so thank you so much, everybody, for listening this morning. I really want to thank Newbie Education, very professional, very knowledgeable within the team, know us very well. I don't know whether anybody wants to chip in there and say how well they know us. They're welcome to. But it's really good to work with them. So yes, contact me directly if you want. You're quite welcome. We can work together with Newbie or without Newbie. It's entirely up to you. But I know they're there. They're my face in Nigeria at the moment when I can't visit. I love visiting Nigeria. I've got a colleague, Rachel, who still comes over occasionally. So if you want a face-to-face with somebody from Brooke House on her next visit, I can make arrangements for her to meet you.
Thank you, Caroline.
You're welcome.
Just want to say that some of the people here are not all from Nigeria. We have some people registering from Ghana.
Oh, Ghana, wow, lovely. Welcome from Cote d'Ivoire. Cote d'Ivoire I've never been to, nor Ghana, but my colleague Rachel has, and Rachel was there just a few weeks ago in Ghana. So thank you for joining us.
And I would say, Caroline, can we have the recording for those that registered and are not here? Can you send it to us?
No, I registered it, ma. I recorded it, ma. So I have it.
Yes, Christiana's onto it. She's onto it.
Okay, all right.
Thank you, Christiana.
All right, Caroline, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Take care. Have a good weekend, everybody. Thank you for joining.
You too. Bye.
You too. Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Okay, the next starts by 12 p.m. So Amerigo Education, and they have schools in North America. So if you're interested, please join the next session by 12 p.m. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Okay, I think everyone has gone, so it's just the Nubi team that's left. Hello, ma. Everyone has gone, so it's just the Nubi team that is. Yeah, I don't know if you want to address us, ma.